Hello, my name is Rowans. How racism affects African American men in America. I am from Anchorage, Alaska, and I decided to do my synthesis essay on Brent Staples' essay called Just a Walk On By. I think that his essay depicts to the audience how prevalent the effects of racism have been in the United States now and in the past. And altogether, with the Black Lives Matter protests recently, it has brought my focus to how the U.S. was built off of racism and slavery, and how to this day African American population faces challenges and discrimination solely due to the color of their skin, which is really not okay at all. Throughout this presentation, I will touch on multiple scholarly sources that have examined the effects of racism in America. I decided to start with socialization because this is how people interact with each other. Women and men are both influenced genetically by different hormones, including estrogen and testosterone, which in turn creates different outcomes with socialization instances, such as women generally tend to value communication and they enjoy talking to each other. That's the fun that they get out of it. But men, on the other hand, sometimes tend to want to get straight to the point when they're talking to each other. A study done by the Journal of Black Psychology found that it is very important for African American men to have that significant other to keep them in mental check and make sure they are getting help, because they are more at risk of believing that they can be prevalent and that they can succeed without outside help when they can, but it is just better for them to get that help. And so when they have that other significant other there to tell them that they can get this help and it's okay for them to do that, that's the best outcome for them. That's how they get the best outcome. And men develop personal societal identity while being influenced by the environment around them. Growing up, which depends on certain socioeconomic factors to alter their life form. Including this is poverty, family status, and resources they are able to afford and get. Another topic I wanted to bring up was negative police encounters. A study conducted by the Department of Psychology and Brain Sciences in Washington, D.C., shows that negative run-ins with the police are indirectly connected to depressive symptoms in Black men. This really stood out to me, and one quote that stood out to me beyond the others was from this source, and it says, "African Americans are more likely than white Americans to be arrested. Once arrested, they are more likely to be convicted. And once convicted, they are more likely to experience lengthy prison sentences." By Boeing. Not all police encounters go bad, but having the stress of something being able to go bad can instigate and lead to deeper issues. And it just really, this quote in this paragraph came to my mind and really hit the spot when it says that people are more likely to be in jail, and just because of the history behind slavery and the color of their skin, it shouldn't be a factor, but it is in all of our lives today, and we have to realize that. What is racism? Racism is discrimination or hate ideals towards a particular racial group or class, and a study done by the Columbia University found that their participants in the study had been impaired in their psychological health due to racism, discrimination, and stress. And all of these combined are very hard to deal with in their daily life. This study consisted of 220 Black males who led them to see how being in a different class can affect how much racism, stress they endured. Not much evolves from racism, and Black men are forced to think about how other people feel around them, as we can sense from Brent Staples' piece when he explains how he felt that the women around him felt or was feeling about him solely just walking behind her. And it's just really deep that all of these people have to think about what other people are thinking about. And that African American man had this unique stressor of racism in their life, and it's never not there. Racism related stress is 100% a symptom of discrimination. Now on to the next slide with imposter phenomenon. A study conducted by the University of North Carolina suggests that the imposter phenomenon, or feelings of intellectual incompetence, put African Americans who face discrimination at risk. The imposter phenomenon is described as a vicious cycle that make people believe that they are not as worthy as they actually are when they are indeed worthy. It makes talented people believe that they are not able to do something that they are able to do. And this cycle is something that puts people in ruts. It makes them depressed, and it can lead to a controlling cycle where people think that they are less than they are worth, but this is not true most of the time. Now, how to combat racism in America. The United States citizens need to figure out how to stop this constant cycle of racism in America. It's not appealing, and it doesn't show any gratitude and unity at all in our country. One start to ending racism is by helping the disadvantaged and non-African Americans to realize that the advantage that they are put at because of the color of their skin, and the disadvantages others are put at because of the color of their skin. And once we get to the realization that everyone is the same and it's just the color of our skin that is different, then we will start to feel more like a country again and more like a unity. And after this realization, we need to work to keep it, and we need to work to change the system that America has been based off of since the beginning. And that system of racism and discrimination and abuse needs to stop. And the mindset of Americans needs to change in order to come to a very healthy, stable economy and relations between everybody in the country. And then we'll have unity and clarity again. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I had a lot of fun putting it all together. My bibliography is right here. I used 5 different sources, and Brent Staples is on the bottom from the 50 essays. I'm looking forward to listening to all of your guys' presentations as well, and let me know if you have any questions whatsoever about my presentation. Thank you. Have an awesome rest of your evenings.